ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ महागणपतये नमः। ऐंकार ह्रींकार रहस्ययुक्त श्रींकार गुणार्तमहाविभूत्याम् ओंकारमर्म प्रतिपादिनीभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्याम् उग्रं वीर्यं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः। Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to today's session of Sri Vidya Upasana in Vedantic perspective. Yesterday in the introduction, I gave you a total picture about this class. The whole human life seems to be suffering, nothing but suffering. We see Sukha and Dukkha. We see the opposites. Always we are struggling in duality, extreme duality, like cold and hot, like day and night. This Sukha and Dukkha are there forever. No one can claim that I am having a permanent happiness. Everyone is seeking happiness, no doubt. Nobody will seek Dukkha other than Kunti Devi. It is said in a shloka that Kunti Devi prays Lord Krishna to give again and again more and more Dukkha, sorrows. She prays for sorrow. No one will do that. But why Kunti Devi prays for sorrow? She says a reason. Whenever you give me dukkha, sorrow, then only I remember you. Otherwise, I don't remember you when I am in happiness. True. We, the human beings, never remember about Ishvara when we are in happiness, so-called happiness. But when a dukkha comes, when a sorrow comes, immediately we seek some rescue, some remedy. If you have deposits in the bank, then you can draw the balance. If you don't have money in the bank, and you are approaching the branch manager to give money, how he can help you? Ishvara is like the bank manager. You are having 2,50,000 rupees in the bank, and you are pleasing the manager by way of offering him some coffee, snacks, everything. You are pleasing always. Whenever you go, you treat him with some gifts or some eatables. Then one day you are writing a check for 2,50,001 rupee. Will the manager sanction the check? Will he give the money against the check? He will reject the check because of non-availability of enough fund in your account. How much is the deficiency? 1 rupee. 1 rupee shortfall. Because of this 1 rupee shortfall, your check is bounced. Like this, Ishvara is the karma phala data, the giver of your karma phala. Ishvara has no free will. You have free will to worship Ishvara or not to worship Ishvara. We have free will, but Ishvara to understand the theory of karma. What is the theory of karma told in Vedas to be understood? That is why in the beginning class I told, and before entering into the subject, one indication. Whenever in this class we use the word Ishvara, it means God. As per our Sampradaya, we don't use the English word God in our talks. And also, we don't use sin in our talks for specific reasons. Because of wrong understanding about these words, we don't use these words, and some other words also we don't use. Whenever we are about to use, we use Ishvara in the place of God. Ishvara means not only Lord Shiva, because in South India, Ishvara means Lord Shiva. In Vishnu Sahasranama also, you see the word Ishvara for Vishnu. So, Ishvara means all gods. So, Ishvara has no free will. Then how come we gain Punya Phala? By way of doing Punya Karmas. By way of leading a dharmic way of life. And we do actions. These actions will definitely produce results. Always action will produce a result. Like you throw a ball towards a wall, it will come to you in the same force. This is called karma. There are 3 kinds of karma as told in Shastra. Prarabdha karma, Sanchita karma, Agami karma. Sanchita karma is the stored karma continuing from birth to birth. Whatever we have earned as papa or punya is recorded in the Sanchita Karma section. And we harvest from this stored karma, we harvest our prarabdha karma. What is unfolded is prarabdha karma, which we experience in this birth. And whatever we do in this birth, as good and bad, it goes to the next birth. That karma is called agami karma, which will be taken to the next birth. Human life never ends with the death. The death is for the physical body, not for the jiva. Jiva travels with Sukshma Sharira and Karna Sharira to the next birth, carrying all the phalas, results to the next birth, so as to experience again good or bad. As if we sleep, we have some dreams, and then we wake up. The dream is vanished. Again we sleep, we get dream. Some people will have continuous dream. At the end of one dream, they will put a card to be continued. Then next day they will continue the same dream in the sleep. Swapnavastha. So three kinds of karmas we were discussing about. Sanchita, the stored. Prarabdha, the harvested. Agami, carried over. Simple definition. And shariras are three. Sharira Trayam. Karna Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Stula Sharira. Stula Sharira is the physical body. Sukshma Sharira is the mind. Karna Sharira is the reason for the birth. Karna means reason for the birth and death. Karna Sharira has all the records of our past births, and it is the reason for the jiva to take a new Sharira after losing the present Sharira and experiencing again Sukha and Dukkha. So this is a cycle which is called Janana Marana Chakram, the wheel of birth and death. This will never end. Immediately a question will come to us. Swamiji, when this started, when I did my first sin, it is Anadi. Anadi means timeless, no beginning, no end. No beginning, no end means there is an end, but no beginning. No end is as told, but there is an end. How it is ending, we will discuss. So this is the birth and death cycle, which rotates with Sukha and Dukkha. Now you would have understood why we are not using the word sin. In some other religious context, the sin has a beginning. But in our Vedic tradition, the sin also Anadi, the Papa also Anadi, so that we use the Sanskrit word itself. That is for a reason. And you will have the Parichaya, you will have the Abhyasa of some Sanskrit Pada. you will have a practice of listening to Samskrita padas or words. Time to time I will explain also. So the whole human life seems to be sorrowful because of the impermanency, because of the perishable nature of what we possess. Nothing is permanent. Everything is changing. Relationships. Oh, the young lover will tell his love, if you are not there, I will not there. I will not live. I will not be there if you are not there. After that, they will get married. Then what will happen, you know? I will kill you. They will start their fighting. Nothing is permanent. Whatever we see in and around us are changing. 2019 is totally different from 2020. 2021 will be totally different from 2020. Yesterday he was there. Today I don't see him. I got the message, WhatsApp message. Birth and death. Who is that person, very old person, who was younger previously? Now he is old. Jara, the Sanskrit word for oldness is Jara. Janana Marana, Jaradi Dukkam. Nothing is permanent. We know this. You don't need a Swamiji to come and tell you. Swamiji, all these things we know. What can we do? The Vedas are giving the perfect right knowledge to come out of this perishable life, eternal life, without birth and death. That is called moksham. In previous classes, we have spoken about, we have discussed about dharma. Moksha is another word as like as misunderstood as like as dharma. What is moksha? Moksha means an understanding. Moksha is the discovery of the self. Who am I? If you get the answer, that is the moksha. Where do you get the answer? In your knowledge. Knowledge is liberation. So I started this lecture by way of summarizing the perishable nature of human life, the sorrowful nature of human life, the birth and death cycle, which is powered by karma theory, how to escape from this birth and death cycle and attain eternal mukti, liberation. This is the core subject of all Vedic texts. In no other country you can see, in no other tradition you can see such a knowledge. Only in our Vedic tradition we have this core knowledge of liberation, core knowledge about karma, the reason for suffering. Knowledge is otherwise called Vidya. This is the basic idea. What for we need Vidya? For liberation. Oh, Swamiji, you are speaking about going to heaven, living happily in the heaven. It is also told in Shastra. How do we believe heaven, the concept of heaven and Naraka, Swarga, Naraka, how do we believe? Shastra is the Pramana. Using the Shastra Pramanam, we believe, we accept the existence of Naraka and Swarga. It is also an experience. Like human life, we experience with the physical body. There we are going to experience a long time sukha or dukkha without the physical body. That is not the real end. It is like going to an overseas country in tourist visa. If you go with the tourist visa, you cannot earn. You are not supposed to earn. You are supposed to spend, in hotels, in restaurants, in amusement parks, malls, buying some electronic goods. You have to spend. Like that in Swarga or Naraka, you cannot earn Papa or Punya. You cannot earn anything. Papa or Punya you cannot earn. Only you have to spend Punya in Swarga, Papa in Naraka. Only spending. If at all it is only about spending, what will happen after exhausting the karma phala, the result of karmas, you will be sent back. Where you will be sent back? To the same karma bhumi you will be sent back. So it is not the permanent mukti. What is this? We have studied about mukti, Sarga Mukti, living under the feet of Lord Shiva, living in Vaikuntha. We have studied about all those things, stories, Puranas. And now we are listening that it is also temporary. Then what is permanent? The mukti which comes through knowledge is permanent. It is coming through vidya. The knowledge which comes through learning shastras. How come we get knowledge? The knowledge will come through learning shastras. Learning through Shabda Pramanam, Apta Vakya Pramanam, Veda Pramanam. You will get the Jnanam. So there are 32 Vidyas told in Shastras. You would have heard about Nachiketa Vidya in Kathopanishad. And so many Vidyas. I will highlight time to time some Vidyas. Our concern, our Vivaksha here is Sri Vidya. The first question, what is the history of Sri Vidya? Sri Vidya is an Upasana Marga. Sri Vidya is an Upasana Marga. Is it told in Vedas? Is it Vaidika? There are some group of people who reject, same Vedic people, who reject Sri Vidya as non-Vedic. Because in Vedas, Sri